Hi and welcome guys. Today I have a really special game I wanted to share with you. This game is the only recorded game in history of Joseph Stalin from my understanding, and this game was played in 1929 in Moscow. It was played between Stalin, who was playing with white, and Jeschow, who was playing with black pieces. Jeschow was his chief of internal affairs, and from what I saw, Stalin could play decent chess, guys. You will see it yourself, so without further ado we will go straight into the game. So the game started with e4 and c5 for Jeschow, knight f3 and d6 for black, d4 for white, striking in the center, c takes on d4 and knight takes on d4. Black continued with knight f6 and Stalin played knight c3. This is open Sicilian, knight b to d7 and bishop e2 for Stalin, and a6 was played for black. Black wants to control this spot and he doesn't want to allow white knights to come on b5 square. The game continued with castle for Stalin and e6 for black. Stalin continued with f4. Stalin immediately opens up the position and strikes in the center, taking control of these vital squares. b5 was played for black. So black as well wants to take as much space as he can. This is a good move by black, usually played in this sort of positions. And now a3 was played for white. Stalin wants to stop the advancement of this b pawn and stopping this threat of kicking his white knight on c3. Game continued with bishop b7, fianchetting the bishop and attacking in the center, a logical move, and white played bishop f3, moving his white squared bishop on a better square and protecting this e4 pawn. And now black played queen b6, putting more pressure on this d4 knight and protecting this d6 pawn. So pretty much these were all book moves. And right now Stalin played bishop e3. Right now he's threatening a discovered attack on this queen. That is the reason why black decided to move this queen from this pin. Queen c7 was played and queen e2 was played for Stalin. So pretty much normal developing moves. He's connecting these two rooks and he wants to protect this bishop as well. Bishop e7 was played for black and Stalin continued with g4. g4 with the idea to take even more space with his pawns and create an attack on the king's wing. So black continued with knight c5, putting even more pressure on this pawn, and right now this pawn is hanging. That is the reason Stalin played queen g2, a good move, moving the queen to a better position while defending this pawn. Game continued with castling for black, and white play rook a to d1, a normal logical move, taking the space, protecting this knight and taking an open file. Rook f to e8 was played for black, not a perfect move, maybe the better move was rook a to d8, but he wanted to protect this bishop and he wanted to take this e-file. And the g5 was played for Stalin. Stalin now uses the advancement of his pawns and he wants to push this knight away. Knight f goes on d7 and the rook d2 was played for white. The idea is to put this rook on f2 and to double these rooks on f-file. e5 was played for black. Black wants to create some counterplay. He wants to strike in the center, maybe open up his pieces, and if white takes, this pawn will be weak later in the game. So the game continued with knight f5, a good move by Stalin. Stalin doesn't want to trade his knights, obviously. He wants to continue pressure and he puts his knight on a much better square, taking even more space. Playing g6 for black is not an option because the knight will come to h6 and he will give a check and it will create a huge problems in the black's position. So black continued with knight e6. The idea for black is to bring his pieces even more to king's wing and to try and help in the defense of his black king. The game continued with knight takes on e7 check, rook takes on e7 and f5 was played for Stalin. So Stalin still continues his attack, his pawns are advancing forward and now black is in sort of a trouble. And now because this knight is attacked, black played knight d4, which is not the best move by the computer. Computer recommends playing the knight on f4 and threatening this queen. So in case there is an exchange, there will be much better position for black because you will exchange one of these attacking pieces. So that is the idea computer recommends knight f4. So that is the idea why computer recommends knight f4 instead of knight d4. The game continued with f6, which is a good move. The main idea for white in this position because he wants to create holes in the black's position and he wants to enter his queen on h3 and then h6 and checkmate the black king. And now game continued with rook e goes on e8. Of course taking this pawn was not an option because if the black took, the white would retook it with g takes on f6, and it will be a discovered check, and whenever black king goes, it will be queen g7 checkmate here. But computer recommends something else here. Instead of going on rook e goes on e8, computer recommends taking the knight, and after queen takes on f3, now playing rook e6. Computer sees that black has a better chance of defending the position with this set of moves instead of the rook e goes on e8, but still this is a much better position for white. So after rook goes on e8, the game continued with bishop h5. Stalin puts even more pieces in his attack, and g6 was played for black. This is a bad move because right now you created these holes around your king, and computer at this moment recommends bishop g4 with the idea to move your queen to h3 field and start and preparing an attack on h6. But Stalin decided to sacrifice his bishop here. Stalin played bishop takes on g6, and after h takes on g6, queen h3 was played. So the same idea, you want to put your queen on the h6 square, threaten the checkmate. The game continued with knight e6. Queen h6 was played. Now the only protector of g7 field is knight on e6. And now queen d8 was played for black. Black is trying to put the rest of his pieces in the defense of the black king, but it's not working out since this rook is stuck here. He cannot move, he cannot go on e7. It would be great if black queen could go on f8, but right now this is not possible and black king is in danger. So the game continued with rook f3 with the idea to put the rook on h3 square and threaten the checkmate on h7 or h8. And now black played knight takes on f6. The idea is to remove some of white's pieces and at least try and slow the attack, but it's not working since white has g takes on f6 and the situation is almost the same. And now Stalin continues his attack with rook d to f2. Already there is a checkmate threats because this pawn is protected, and right now the idea for white is to move this rook on h3 and create a checkmate threat. This pawn is protected, so there is no way black can defend this, and that is the reason why Jeschow decided to play a desperate move, and he played queen takes on f6, sacrificing his queen. Rook takes on f6, and now rook c7 was played for black. He wants to protect this pawn. Situation is really grim for black because he sacrificed his queen for white's pawn. The game continued with knight d5, putting the only piece that wasn't working in this position and attacking this rook. Black responds with bishop takes on d5, e takes on d5. Now this knight is attacked and this knight goes on f8. The game continued with bishop g5 for white, and knight h7 was played for black. Black is trying to create some counterplay and attack this rook on f6. The game continued with rook takes on d6, e4 was played for black, bishop e3 was played for white. White doesn't want to allow anything for black, he doesn't want to allow any counter chance, although this game is pretty much over. Rook c goes on e7, bishop d4 already creating a checkmate threat on g7, f6 was played for black, bishop takes on f6, knight takes on f6, and rook d takes on f6, and after this move Jeschow resigned the game and Stalin won. And this is a clearly won position for white. There is nothing black can do here that can stop a checkmate, and it's a huge material advantage as well, a queen advantage for white, and that is the reason why Jeschow resigned this game. And this was all for today's game, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, please leave a comment, like and subscribe, as this would mean a lot to me. I'm trying to grow my channel. And please let me know your thoughts about this only recorded Stalin's game. What are your thoughts on his playing style? Is he any good? Please leave it all in the comments below. And we will see each other in the next video. Thank you for watching.